Good evening, brother watchers. This is Connor Keeley with Mr. Evans here tonight, and sorry that we had a delay with the podcast and stuff with the long weekend, but here we are today doing it on February the 21st. First, I would like to ask you guys to please smash that like button, to subscribe, and stay tuned for more updates. Let's get into it. So, as you guys can see here, this is the Storms Prediction Center outlook for the 15th of February there, my bad. So as you guys can see, there was an enhanced risk on both Wednesday and Thursday, I believe it was last week, for the threat of tornadoes and damaging winds. We didn't really get that many tornadoes on the 15th as we were expected to, but in the convoy, that's a good thing. So let's go ahead and look at the storm reports now. This does need to be updated because we did have 3 confirmed tornadoes across Mississippi. So yes, everything else is accurate. Just include the 3 storm reports for the tornadoes in Mississippi. So now we're the day before the event. Yes, Tuesday at 1 p.m. at 12Z. That's Tuesday morning. So as you guys can see in this yellow highlighted area with the black arrows, that means that warm sector boundaries moving north and will develop into discrete supercells along that boundary. So as you guys can see here, that boundary of weak storms and heavy rain showers starting to develop across coastal Texas and Louisiana there. So that was something we definitely need to keep an eye on, and I'll explain why later. So now we're at 6 p.m. on Tuesday, so 12Z. As you guys can see, we have scattered cell development now across Oklahoma, extending all the way to western Alabama there. So that's something that we were definitely keeping an eye on, as this was turning out to be a significant event like they were first forecasting it to. Didn't turn out to be that, but that's what they were forecasting it to be. Now we are at 11 p.m. towards the height of the event. In the purple line, you can see the dry line is moving east, developing the QLCS, which stands for Quasi-Linear Convective System, in case you didn't know that. And now we are at 11 p.m., as I said, and as you guys can see, we have multiple renegade supercells. Basically, what renegade supercells are is strong, violent supercells that put down long-track tornadoes. We didn't get that. Luckily, because as you guys can see, we're in the middle of the night now, but that would have been really bad if we did see that. A lot of people could have died, but stay tuned for more updates as we are forecasting a potential big severe weather event across the Western Plains here on Sunday, so stay tuned for an update about that. Now, excuse me for my apologies. Here we are at 11 p.m. still. As you guys can see, the dry line is sitting across Oklahoma and Texas here, with dew point temperatures anywhere from the mid to upper 60s. That's just feeling those thunderstorms, become just like ripe and stuff. It's what they love, to become strong. So now we are looking at the surface-based CAPE at 11 p.m. As you guys can see, we have anywhere from 2,000 to 2,500 joules kilogram -1 across coastal Texas here. If we had storms in the area, this would have been bad, Which that did actually extend eastward and stuff, to the front region, but it was weaker though by the time we got there. So now we look at the bulk share for 11 p.m. for the run to around 11 p.m. Wednesday night still. As you guys can see, in the main threat region, we have wind shear gusts from anywhere from 40 to 60 knots. That is significant. Doesn't sound like that much, but in the atmosphere, that's screaming. Which helps with tornadoes, but kills hurricanes. Just an FYI. Well, less than there for hurricane season this year, about 100 days out now. So now we look at the supercell composite at 11 p.m. Wednesday night. As you guys can see here, we have numbers ranging all the way from 11 to 18 across extreme southeastern Arkansas. Because like I said, they were forecasting it to be bad. So now we look at the significant tornado parameter for 11 p.m. Wednesday night. That's elevated 2. Like I said, anywhere from pretty much 11 to 20 for this now. So now we are going to break down what the Storm's Prediction Center had to say about this event in their briefings. I want you guys to pay attention to what's highlighted, so that's what we're going to focus on. So as you guys can see, we had a strengthening southwesterly LLJ centered overhead. What LLJ stands for is lower level jet, and that's what the jet stream is with the wind shear. So as you guys can see, the lower level jet is forecasted to further intensify Wednesday night as it shifts northward into the lower Tennessee and Ohio valleys by early Thursday morning. All right, and overnight activity to evolve into a cluster of supercells, as we saw. A supercell tornado risk may develop along with other severe hazards possible. Now we look at a later event. Mid 60s degree dew points beneath the 50-knot lower level jet core. That's bad. Great tornado grounds though. Plum of less than 1,000 joules kilogram for a surface-based cape. That's actually good. That actually would help lower severe weather threat, by the way, in case any of y'all were wondering what the heck happened. So now we are looking at the elevated convection transitions to surface-based, along with the cold front could become a more favorable focus for supercells with the tornado threat into Thursday morning. However, though, effective SRH, I don't know what that stands for. Email Mr. Evans if you want to know. Near 300 N2S2 will conditionally favor tornadoes with any established supercells that develop late near the Mississippi River boundary, as we saw. So now we're in the 18Z at 12 p.m. Still on the same date on Valentine's Day. By the way, to you ladies out there, happy late Valentine's Day. So now as we can see, new update from the HRRR from pivotalweather.com. We have the warm frontal boundary moving northward across Louisiana, Mississippi, and western Alabama now. Now we are starting to see isolated cell development, especially in northwestern Alabama there, okay? So, yeah. Alright, so now we are at 12 a.m. We see the dry line back over across Oklahoma there with the QLCS still. And now we are starting to see a little bit weaker renegade cells developing still. So, but we would have to watch that one and that one. Those are the two strongest ones on the map. And now we're looking at 2 a.m. with multiple strong renegade supercells all the way from Kentucky right back to the Oklahoma-Arkansas border. A lot of multiple strong renegade supercells, especially across Tennessee and Mississippi there, alright guys? That would have been bad, okay? So now, let's look at Wednesday itself, the day of the event. 3 p.m. in the afternoon. Isolated cell development along that warm boundary, okay guys? That's where we saw a lava storm start to fire. Oh, and by the way, in case you guys did not know, the warm boundary is a warm front moving north, by the way. Remember, cold fronts, anywhere from, northwest to southeast or west to east, and then cold fronts move typically from south to north, okay? So now by 8 p.m. on the day of the event, we are starting to see scattered cell development across Tennessee and Alabama and Mississippi and Arkansas there, alright? So now let's see what they have to say. The same modified soundings also match several historic, pretty bad, isn't it? Analogs for significant hail, at least 2 inches in diameter, and tornadoes. A couple tornadoes may be strong. EF2 plus damage is capable. Guys, that's violent. We're lucky we didn't get that on Wednesday, especially with it being nighttime threat. Would kill a lot of people, sleeping and caught them off guard. Uncertainties on convective coverage and storm mortation latency. Reflectivity, rich moisture in the return flow plume, by the way, too. And a few embedded supercells are possible, offering all severe hazards: tornadoes, winds, hail, flood. is forecasted tonight across parts of the Mid-South, also initiating strong severe convection, including a few supercells. This convection may merge upscale into a quasi-linear arrangement, QLCS, like we talked about at the beginning of the video. So now we are on the day before Thursday's event, 12 p.m., watching these renegade supercells across western Mississippi into Tennessee there, you know. We had 18 tornado reports that day. Could have had a lot worse, though, if models hold it true. Watch these QLCS supercells. What a QLCS supercell is, it's a quasi-linear convective system supercell. That means we have embedded supercells within the main line of thunderstorms. And we get those little spin-ups in there. So as you can see, that blue line back off to the other side there, right there, is the cold front. And then these renegade supercells are ongoing. That one's violent across western Alabama there. Violent, I said. So now they said service dew points in the mid-60s to near 70 degrees. That's warm. And muggy, too. At the bottom of a deep boundary layer with up to about 1.5 inch PW will contribute to deep boundary layer with up to about, well, I just read that, mid-level Cape commonly around 1,500 joules kilograms, locally near 2,000 joules kilograms, with a period of strengthening shear to generally remaining effective SRH. Again, email at Mr. Evans if you want to know what that is. I'll have to ask him tomorrow. Generally remaining in the 250 to 400 joules kilograms, range over much of the area, will be favorable for supercells with effective shear magnitudes in the 45 to 55 knot range over southern areas to 50 to 60 knots across the Tennessee Valley region. For significant tornado probabilities is may need a further tactically focused tornado-driven upgrade today as mesoscale trends and later objective guidance warrant. So they were talking about upgrading Thursday to a moderate risk. That would have been the first moderate risk of 2023 because that's how bad they thought it was going to be. But, you know, models hyped it up and it ended up not being a bust because it wasn't a bust. It just ended up not performing as what they originally said. So now we look at 1 p.m. for the composite reflectivity of the HRRR on the day of the event. So this is 12Z, 1 p.m., like I mentioned, which that's actually, well, actually, yeah, the 12Z is the time that this computer model was, and the time that we're looking at is 1 p.m. because it's 18Z. So as you guys can see, we have these little, what we call bean supercells. The reason why we call them beans is because they're shaped like one. And now we're at 5 p.m. As you guys can see, multiple supercells across this area, and those QLCS supercells embedded inside that line could give us brief spin-ups possibly. And now we're looking at scatter cell development around 1 p.m. still. This is later update, the same day, scatter cell development across southeastern Mississippi to south central. Now we're looking at multiple widespread renegade supercells across western Alabama and back into eastern and central Mississippi. All those would have been violent, put down long-term tornadoes if that happened. And now we're looking at 7 p.m. We still have widespread tornadic supercells ongoing, especially across Alabama there. And now this was the categorical outlook. This is what the the Storms Prediction Center put together for our risk. So this was the SPC. As we can see, we have the enhanced risk across eastern central Mississippi into western central Alabama and up into central Tennessee for a significant tornado risk and also for a wind threat. And then we had a slight risk across eastern central Mississippi into extreme western Alabama. Now we're looking at robust thunderstorm development has occurred now. Temperatures have warmed well into the 70 degrees with upper 60-degree dew points, so very muggy and warm, beginning to overspread central Mississippi with 50 plus knots of westerly 500 millibar flow. Currently overlaps of 30 to 40, 50 low level jet with 50 plus knots of effective bulk shear, which will support supercell development through the afternoon, given the atmosphere mentioned thermometers profile, whatever that means. Email Mr. Evans. Suggests that storms that organize in the near term could become tornadic supercells. Remember that. Low level jet should gradually shift northward from the warm sector today, which is expected to temper hydrodraft length and curvature, serving as the primary reason for withholding a moderate risk upgrade this outlook. So they're basically saying that it's starting to underperform now, so they cut that as an enhanced risk. A near quarter of locally higher tornado potential may briefly occur somewhere across eastern Mississippi to central Alabama this afternoon. Now we look at 2 p.m. Renegade supercells are developing now across Mississippi there, with that cold front pushing them eastward. Now we look at 5 p.m. Scattered Renegade supercell development is still ongoing. And now by 2 p.m. we're looking at a more of, this is a new run, I think, right? Yes, new run, 2 p.m. QLC has a great one across Mississippi. They're probably squall line, if I had to take a guess. Now we're looking at 5 p.m. 2 decent supercells now, so that's why they didn't upgrade it to a moderate risk. Now we look at the storm predictions. The storm prediction center storm reports for February 16th of 2023. As you guys can see, we had a total of 18 tornado reports between Mississippi, Tennessee, and Georgia there, and 24 wind reports and 6 hail reports. Now let's dive into the Florida local weather now. So past all the severe weatherness, now let's talk about Florida. So as you guys can see here, no rain is in the forecast for at least the next 10 days. That's pretty good. A lot of windy days coming up, but hey, it's winter. It's windy in Florida. But that's actually a good thing because it's going to be hot outside, especially on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, with temperatures being in the 80s all the way through next Monday. And now we look at the temperature for the 6 to 10 day outlook. As you guys can see, Florida is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 80 to 90% above average for this time of year. That's pretty warm. And we are 40 to 50% below where we should be for precipitation this time of year and stuff. Usually we're getting those cold fronts with severe thunderstorms, but that really hasn't seemed the case to be this year. Probably with that El Nino trying to catch in later on this season, which that'll be about hurricane season, so we'll talk about that then. So I would like to thank everybody for watching today's video, and please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and stay tuned for more updates. We may or may not have a video this Friday, depends on how long our meeting is, so just stay tuned for more updates. I'll try to get a short video out there with some information about Sunday, as Sunday could turn out to be pretty big for a big severe weather event across the Central Plains, so you don't want to miss that. Tornado Alley's waking up. Don't forget to never stop chasing.